Hi everyone, especially Dr. Yao. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Joanny and this is my video submission for our goniometry test. Now this video is broken up into 4 parts. First, we will kick it off with the cervical extension. Second, we will be looking at trunk lateral flexion. Third, we'll be looking at elbow flexion. And lastly, we'll be looking at hip internal rotation. I hope you guys enjoy. For the testing position for cervical extension, make sure your subject is sitting down with a really good back support. Stabilize their thoracic and lumbar spine, and for this, the mouth will be relaxed and slightly open. The normal range of motion for this should be around 75 degrees according to AMA. For the goniometry alignment for a cervical extension, have the axis aligned with the external auditory meatus, have the stationary arm vertically facing up, and the moving arm will be aligned with the nostrils. So it will look like this. So this is where the meatus will be, so that's where the axis will go. Stationary arm will be facing vertically up, and the moving arm will be aligned with the nostrils. Make sure that the subject has their mouth relaxed and open. All right, extend for me. Give me 1 second. All right, we have the range of motion of 64 degrees. For the testing position for a trunk lateral flexion, have your subject standing still and stabilize their pelvis. There will be a side bend of their thoracic and lumbar spine. The normal range of motion for this is around 25 degrees according to AMA. So for the goniometry alignment for a trunk lateral flexion, we're going to have the axis aligned with the S1 spinous process. The moving arm will be aligned with the C7 spinous process, and the stationary arm will be facing vertically down. So it will look like this. S1 is about right here. So align the axis right there. Stationary arm is vertically down. Alright, and moving arm aligned with the C7. Make sure the subject has their pelvis stabilized and flex for me. Alright, give me 1 second. Alright, there is a flexion of 11 degrees. For the testing position for an elbow flexion, have your subject lay down in the supine position. We're going to have their shoulders in neutral, which means arms to the side, and their forearm will be supinated for flexion. The normal range of motion for this is around 140 degrees according to AMA. So when it comes to goniometry alignment for an elbow flexion, we're going to have the axis aligned with the lateral epicondyle of the humerus, and we're going to have the stationary arm go along the humerus and align with the center of the acromion process, and the moving arm will go along the radius and align with the styloid process specifically. So make sure that your subject has their hands supinated. All right. So we're going to have the lateral epicondyle go right there. And this is aligned with the acromion styloid process. Okay, flex for me. Perfect. And then make sure this aligns with the styloid process. It's gonna be a little hard. Okay. So there is an elbow flexion of 124 degrees. For the testing position for a hip internal rotation, have your subject sit down on a table. Make sure that their thigh is stabilized and their knee is flexed. The normal range of motion for this is about 40 degrees according to AMA. For the goniometry alignment for a hip internal rotation, we're going to have the axis aligned with the patella of the knee. The stationary arm will be facing vertically down, and the moving arm will be going along with the midline anterior tibia, so the tibia crest. It will look kind of like this. So patella is about right here. We're going to have the axis aligned there. Stationary arm is facing vertically down. All right, rotate for me. Give me 1 second. All right. There is an internal rotation of 25 degrees.